As a Muslim entrepreneur who now runs 4 businesses, alhamdulillah, all making more than £10,000 a month, the hardest part is coming up with an idea that makes money is easy to start and that you don't need too much money to start with. But I've done my research for you, and not only am I trying to give you business ideas, I'm trying to make them unique for you. And if one isn't relevant for you, another one will be. But I will make sure to keep them unique where you can make money and hopefully somehow make it passive for yourself as well. The first business, not only can it at some point become passive, this business model actually does extremely well in other countries, and now I want you guys to be able to start this business, especially in the UK, Canada and America, and that is a cleaning service. There is huge potential to start a cleaning service today in the West because a lot of people are going down the route of working jobs as couples. A lot of people are spending time in working hours, and unfortunately the homes are getting left alone. You don't need too much money to start. You can start yourself. You can hire one person or 2 people. In fact, you don't need to hire people at all. The starting cost of starting a cleaning service business, it doesn't have to be too much. You just need to find someone who is willing to do the cleaning services for you. You then go and find the customers. How will you find these customers? It may be through social media, it may be through leafleting, it may be through door knocking, but you need to go find the customers for 1, 2 or 3 cleaners. Usually cleaners are great, they do great work, but they find it hard to get clients. That's where you come in. You can find the clients for cleaners. Maybe they're looking for £13-14 per hour. Instead, you can charge the client £15 to £16 per hour, which might not sound like a lot. But let's do the maths. How much can you make a month if you have 4 cleaners where you're providing that sort of service for? If you have 4 cleaners and they're working 40 hours a week and your profit margin on top is just £4, bearing in mind it can be £5, £6, £7, especially if the service you're providing is good, then with only 4 cleaners, you'd be looking to make £2,500 a month. And for a lot of people, that's their monthly salary. If you're making £40,000-45,000, you're making £2,500 a month take home. Bearing in mind, once you're making the money, you can grow, have more cleaners, 6, 7, 8 cleaners working for you. They provide the service, you give them the business, you're the middleman, you're providing the social media advertising, the leafleting, the door knocking. You need to be equipped to bring in those clients for them. And bearing in mind, it's not costing you much to start with. If you now have from 4 to 12 cleaners, you're looking at £7,500 a month. And so the upscale on a business where you can start today, not invest that much money in, have cleaners, provide a service, and sometimes go to the households, but you're not limited to that because you can go and approach companies and therefore charge a lot more to companies, because the margins I've spoke about are the minimal that you would need to charge to make the sort of money that I've told you. Number 2, a business which is super new, super fresh. Nobody is looking to do this at this stage. In fact, I would go as far to say that if you get in today, you have huge scope to make a lot of money in, but you need to master the skill. And you need to master the skill of AI. Not because I want you to make something in AI. What I want you to do is educate yourself on AI and how AI can benefit a lot of businesses. How AI can actually help a lot of businesses ease their processes. Because once you educate yourself, guess what you're going to do? You're going to charge consultancy fees to companies for the information that you have. Today, a lot of businesses want to incorporate AI. A lot of businesses don't really know how AI can help their businesses. What you need to do is educate yourself, which by the way is totally free. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. Educate yourself on how AI works, how you can help a business grow, how you can help a business save money, how you can help a business increase their workload by bringing AI in. Once you do that, you can easily charge businesses £2,000-3,000 for consultancy services in bringing in AI into their business. Bearing in mind, it's completely fresh, it's completely new, and businesses are not well educated on how and what AI can even do today. Because this is so fresh, this is so new, it's something you can totally bring in yourself. Not only that, how can you make something like a consultancy company passive? Is it going to cost you a lot? No. Is it hard to start? No. You do need to get on the phone. You need to speak to businesses. You need to send emails. You need to do your marketing. How can you make it passive? You need to hire people. Hire people, educate them, teach them what you know, and help them bring those services in, take those services to companies. And to give you an idea, today AI is doing a lot of things, especially on the marketing side, especially in terms of sales, especially in terms of lead generating and bringing new business in. And that, if you just focus on that, and if you bringing in your services for £3, 4 or 5 months can help that business increase their sales by 5 or 10% or productivity by 5 or 10%, it's huge. And businesses are more than happy to pay someone in, pay an expert in to come into their business to help it grow. And guess what? The younger generation needs to become the expert in AI because the older generations sometimes don't have that time to put in. A business which I started myself with £500 sitting in my living room, and alhamdulillah, in the first year I made more than 6 figures. It's a recruitment company. A recruitment company is huge in terms of the starting capital is hardly anything. £500 is what I started my recruitment company with, but the potential is huge. Now, what does a recruitment company do? A recruitment company is a company where you provide a candidate to a company and you charge a fee to find that candidate. So for example, a candidate gets a job for 45,000, or let's make it easy for argument's sake, £50,000. £50,000, that candidate gets the job. We charge as a recruitment company 15%, which works out to be £7,500 for one person. And a recruitment company can end up doing, by the way, just one person can end up doing 3 or 4 placements a month quite easily once you put in the hard work, which therefore means you can make upwards of £30,000 per person if the numbers are right, if you put in the hard work, and if you get the right clients. How do you get the right clients? You need to make a lot of calls, a lot of sales calls, a lot of cold calling, a lot of emails need to be sent. Sometimes LinkedIn approaching clients, but that shouldn't bother you because once you get a client, once you have a business who is happy and ready to work with you, you don't need to spend that much time. You don't need to actually keep calling. You don't need to keep making the cold calling and the emails and the lead generation because you have a client who is happy to work with you. And therefore, guess what the client says? The client just sends you an email and says, I need 5 accountants. I'm willing to pay them £40,000 a year, for example. And if you fill those accountants, let's say at 15%, then you're looking at £6,000 for every single placement that you make, because on 15%, you'd be making £6,000. And how do you make a business like recruitment passive? You hire people, as I did and as I have. Alhamdulillah, today I sit in the UAE with my recruitment company running from UK and Pakistan. We make a considerable amount. And how did I do that? By hiring employees. And now my employees look after the clients. The clients are already there. I brought them on, and we just have to find the candidates for those companies, and we make the money every single time someone gets a job. 5 years in, we're going strong, and 19-year-olds are starting their own recruitment companies and alhamdulillah doing very, very well. Is it easy? Yes. Can you make a lot of money? Yes. Do you need a lot of capital? No. And can you make it passive? Yes. Number 4, this market is on the up. It's trending. Every single person is talking about it. Every single podcast is talking about it. All the social media gurus are talking about it. And that is health and wellness. Because once you look at businesses in the health and wellness area, and by the way, I'm going to give you a few ideas that you can start within this area, but I believe that this area of health and wellness is huge. And if you step into it today, in 2-3 years time, you can really grab a hold of your market and do really well in terms of making money. See, this doesn't have to be something like starting a gym. In fact, it can be something like halal meal prepping, because we as people who are Muslims, we want to look after our body. We want to look after and have good food, but we end up having food which unfortunately has a lot of oil in it, a lot of salt in it, and that's the sort of background we come from. So halal meal prepping is amazing. If someone creates something in the health and wellness area, and it could be something like, you know, online sessions, it could be PT sessions, it could be what to eat, it could be what to exercise, how to exercise, it could even be something like a sleep planner, it could be something which is optimizing your sleep, because today every single person is talking about how they need to go for a 15-20 minute walk, how they need to get adequate amount of sleep to look after their health, how they need to eat well. And this area is booming. So you don't need to be very specific in terms of, oh, I need to do halal meal prepping. You might come up with a pillow that helps you sleep 10% better. You might come up with a duvet that helps you sleep 10-15% better. It might be an app that optimizes your sleep. It might be a playlist, or it might be something which helps you on your run. Whatever it is, in the health and wellness area, you are looking at a market which is booming, doing extremely well, and it totally depends on where and what you want to do. Think about apps, think about food, think about sleep, think about heart rates and walking and exercise. In any part of this area, you can really do well. You just have to grab it. You have to start something, and you may have to start putting some money into it. It is something where you need a little bit of capital. Again, depending on what you do, you can make it passive. Is it easy to start? It totally depends on what you're going to start in this industry, but the industry is massive. And so number 5, people are becoming millionaires in this market. People are buying Ferraris and Lamborghinis and are not even being honest a lot of the times. But I'm going to sit here and be very honest and transparent with you guys and tell you something. If you want to do really well, there is a market where people are making a lot of money. They're saying they're not. They're saying they're making it from a different market, but actually, online learning is huge. And this is something which I have realized in recent times. Online education, online learning, something which, by the way, I'm in also myself. It's massive. People are making millions and millions of pounds in online education. And you might think, I don't know what to teach, or I don't know what to educate people on. But hang on a minute. People today are teaching cooking classes, how to cook. I mean, if you're a good cook, 100% you can come up with a good educational platform on cooking. People today are teaching productivity. People today are teaching exercise. Obviously, when it comes to the health and wellness side, people are teaching business and finance and money. People are teaching how to get a job. People are teaching how to fix your CV, how to do cover letters. There are so many things that you can teach. It just totally depends on whether you know something which other people don't know. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people today do know a lot of things, but they forget how much knowledge and information they have because it's something they've been learning over the last 6, 7, 8 years. And I will say, once you have created something, once you have actually made something, it's a case of social media, advertising, SEO searches, getting it out there. You need to initially put in 15, 20, 30 hours of work. Sometimes you need to put in months of work. But once you've done that, once you've put in the work, it is completely passive. And that's why a lot of people today are making a lot of money on creating courses, online education, even mentorship. If you don't want to create a course, you can definitely start mentoring. In fact, a lot of people today are charging £100, £200 per call. So if you do, 5 calls for £200, you basically made £1,000 a day, and people are doing that. Now, there is an element of social media helps, but you can't go down the route of SEO. You can't go down the route of LinkedIn and uploading content on LinkedIn and just writing articles if you don't want your face to be on there. But like I said, people are making millions of pounds on education online and courses and mentorship. And so here I am sitting in front of you telling you could do the exact same thing. But I hope this video has helped you. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.